Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, what we're going to talk about tonight is something that is the elephant in the room around red flag laws. Chris Murphy let it squeak out. The interview that we did from NPR today also let it squeak out. There is an elephant in the room about red flag laws, and not only how they're not working, but how they're completely proving the idea that large government bureaucracies are not efficient enough to be responsible with our rights. Let's just take the post office, for example. But what I'm about to show you are two clips that prove just that. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about this one. And please, if you enjoy the content, if this is something that you think is excellent for our rights going forward, please hit that subscribe button. We are always looking to earn that subscription. And thank you so much for your consideration because it really helps the channel out. Now make sure you check out thesecondpress.co. That's our new website. We have everything 2A related, original content, passing the blessing on to the next generation, and a way for you to be notified about these videos without relying on YouTube. Speaking of big inefficient bureaucracies. But enough of that. Like I said, everything is linked. Let's get into this. I'm going to start you off with Mr. Gun Control in the Senate, as I like to call him, Chris Murphy. Now, this is the same interview that we showed you from Sunday with Dana Bash on CNN. But this is specifically the red flag portion where Dana Bash is even holding his feet to the fire on the fact that red flags simply didn't work multiple times. Check this out, and then we're going to analyze it.
About what you did pass, you mentioned it. 5 months, it's been that long since the president signed a bipartisan bill. You helped negotiate it. It expanded background checks, incentivized states to implement red flag laws. Virginia and Colorado, where these mass shootings took place over the last 10 days or so, they already have red flag laws in place, and they did not prevent those mass shootings.
I think it's important to know that the bill that we passed is being implemented as we speak, but it takes a little while for these big, complicated laws to be put into place.
But these two states already had. They didn't need the incentive.
Correct. Now, what we've, I think, learned in Colorado is that the county in which this shooting happened is a so-called Second Amendment sanctuary state. And I think the country's going to have to learn about what's going on in this country.
All right, so there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, credit to Dana Bash for calling him out and going, hey, you passed this 5 months ago. It's not doing anything. Cue the line that says, well, you got to give it time to take effect and work. Now, the interesting thing about the bipartisan safety deal that he's talking about is the funding for red flag laws is only applicable to states that incorporate due process rights and protections into existing red flag law or new red flag law proposals. The only problem with that is all those 19 states that he just referenced, they have to go down in their aggressive nature against the rights of citizenry and give more due process back. In effect, in order to get the money, they have to make their red flag laws weaker and offer more due process. He didn't tell you that part, but it's got to take time because it's taking effect. Yeah. That's pretty crucial. We even covered it when it was announced. That's the first thing. The second thing here I'm going to show you from the NPR article that we covered earlier today. The gun expert, this is a professor who's talking about gun laws and red flag laws. Listen to what he says, then I'm going to tie the whole points together.
Congress. Biden has also mentioned red flag laws, the lack of enforcement of red flag laws around the country. Now, those are state laws. What could Washington do to increase enforcement of red flag laws across the country?
In the bipartisan gun bill that Congress passed and President Biden signed this past summer, there was a provision to encourage more states to adopt red flag laws and to provide funding for them. And he's, at the least, I would think, would want to be very public to encourage states to move ahead in doing that. 19 states have red flag laws in place right now. And one of the problems we've seen is that often the enforcement of these laws is pretty spotty.
All right. So with both of those clips out of the way, think about any other bureaucracy that you know is dreadfully inefficient because of the bloated budget. There is no responsibility. There is no free market pressures. People don't get fired. They get to stay forever. Oh, I don't know. Government healthcare system, postal service, the VA system, bureaucracies across the board, the ATF, the FBI, any of the other bureaucracies that are bloated from the federal government level that don't work efficiently. Oh, the DMV. All of these things, they're in place. They have laws, but people just aren't following them properly. So we need more laws. This is the big game. This is the big con. We're going to do this one little thing. These laws are going to be great. It's going to be, everything's going to be safety. Roses everywhere, rainbows, butterflies, unicorns. Oh my goodness, cotton candy. But then when people who are underperforming, under training, or just flat out don't believe that it's constitutional, don't follow through with it, it can't be the law's fault according to the people who passed the law. That's pretty obvious. So it's got to be someone else's fault. So we should probably just go even further. We need more laws. That's what you're seeing across the board. The red flag push is not going to result in more red flags across the country. What they're going to do is they're going to utilize it as an example of, well, our laws fail, so we need more laws. This is step-by-step tyranny. Even the main proponents of the deals with red flag laws, which are not going to expand because of the due process requirements, even they say it's failing. Beware of wolf in sheep's clothing, because the next lines that they're going to come with are, well, the red flag laws are failing, so we need more. We need purple flags. We need yellow flags. We need consequences for law enforcement that aren't enforcing red flag laws. We need public funding campaigns, which give money all across the board to red flag law advocacy groups like Giffords or Every Town for Gun Safety or Moms Demand Action or Bloomberg. It's almost like this is a written path we've seen multiple times. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below. Did I land that plane effectively? And I will see you tomorrow morning.